Hello, my friend. I hope this finds you well today. As we talked about in the previous lesson, a good leader has a high tolerance to stress. I've heard it said that leaders have high testosterone and low cortisol, and cortisol is essentially the chemical in the brain and body which is responsible for stress. And so if we want to take on big challenges, a lot of responsibility, we won't make it unless we develop our systems to cope with high pressure, high stakes situations. I think that this lesson is one of the most important in the entire course as a result. Anyone who seems like they have it all together, it's a good chance that they have done a lot of work on themselves. It was the conscious work that they did rather than the results of chance or circumstance. There's a saying by Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who said that beautiful young people are accidents of nature and beautiful old people are works of art. It's self-care that helps us to nurture our mind, our body, and our spirit to become these works of art. And so when I look back at my own life, I was thinking about several years ago, I made up this thing in my mind, like saying that I'm at rock bottom because I had a lot of bad things happen to me. I was living in Bangkok and I had just returned from a trip to Bali where my wallet was stolen on like the second day that I was there. And I had just broken up with my girlfriend because I moved into a new apartment and she didn't move in with me, which was really frustrating. Business was not doing well. I just had a potential client that I was excited about who said that he rejected my proposal and decided not to go with me. And I was publishing content but not making any money with it. And I remember walking down the street, feeling so ashamed of myself, and I thought, you don't even deserve to live anymore. And it was just difficult to even, walk. That's how anxious I was at that time. And so something powerful happened at that point. I decided to make a decision. I couldn't shake myself out of that feeling. So what I did was I gave myself a deadline. I said, okay, I realize that this sucks. I feel terrible right now, but I'm going to give myself a deadline. I can feel however I want. I can do whatever I want, and feel this way until Monday. And then I'm going to move on with my life and continue. And so I noticed that, sometimes we get into a bad way or a losing streak where we have bad luck for several days. It seems like nothing is going our way. It's really important to find a way to stop that and to get back on track, get back to our winning selves again and get back in the game. We need to say, okay, that's enough. And now it's time to start again. I'm going to get back on track. And there are some steps that we can take that really help us. I think that you should do as many of these as you can every single day just to have more good, productive days in general. But if you do many of these all together, it can definitely help you to turn things around whenever you've had a really tough time and get back on track to start winning again. These habits will help you to turn your losing streak around and get out of your way. And you don't have to only do these, like I said, when you have a losing streak. You can also do these anytime that you want to reduce your own internal resistance and just get more things done in general, be a happier, more productive human being. I like to think of these habits as my secret superpower, which enables and facilitates everything that I do in my life. So with that said, I'm going to go through the 14 items on this list. The first one is to get lots of sunlight. Sunlight produces serotonin, and it's probably the easiest and cheapest and best way to improve your mood and pick yourself up again. I like to do a lot of my work outdoors, try to get at least 15 minutes of sunshine, more if I can. Every time I go outside, I'll do a lot of work on my phone while I'm walking on the beach or walking at the park. The second is to get some kind of movement, some kind of exercise. There's a huge bee here. He's just curious. And I'm going to let him go. All right, so as I was saying, the second is to get some kind of movement, some kind of exercise. Our bodies are built to move, and staying static is actually abnormal to us. That's what causes a cause of ill health. Our bodies and brains balance themselves through movement. Movement also helps to release a lot of the stored tension that we have in our body. Third is to spend some time close to nature, observing the moment, observing the trees, the flowers, and appreciating all of the abundance all around you, and realizing that you're a part of all of that abundance. Fourth is breathing exercises. Breathing exercises help you to activate your vagus nerve, taking deep breaths and holding it for 20 seconds, letting it go down to your gut, slowly exhaling, getting all that oxygen into your system, because a lot of that anxiety and stress is stored in your gut, and breathing exercises help you to release that. 5 is fasting. I don't like to eat until my day is finished. I like to get all of my important things done while I'm in a fasted state. And they say that a wealthy man has many concerns, but a hungry man has only one. Fasting is not only really healthy for you, it facilitates autophagy, it extends your lifespan as shown in scientific studies, but it also helps to reset your body. It gives your body a chance to clean itself out, and it also does a fantastic job of distracting you from all of your other problems. I try to do, like I said, all of my most important work in a fasted state because that's when I have the most mental clarity. And I notice that when I start to eat food, there's a significant decrease in my willpower, and suddenly I just I'll do this stuff tomorrow, and I feel less motivated. I also just feel really incredible when I'm in a fasted state, and I can prolong that through the day. I will drink coffee without milk because it has no calories, and that often helps to suppress my appetite so I don't have hunger pangs. 6 is to listen to the sound of birds singing. And you can even do this with YouTube. If you're not in the countryside like here, they have a lot of bird songs and forest sounds on YouTube, and it will make you feel much better. It will also relax your nervous system. 7 is to walk barefoot in nature so that you can go into a field like a grass, or if you're near the ocean, you can walk in the sand. And that's also always a great way to clear your mind and reconnect with the natural order, the natural world. 8, reduce the exposure to whatever it is that is constantly bringing you down. Whenever we care too much about something, the outcome tends to turn out very badly for us. When we care too much, we tend to repel something. That's why it's important to take some kind of conscious action to reduce the exposure of whatever it is that's bringing us down, to reduce the power that it has over us. If you're dating someone, for example, you talk to someone a lot, that person should not be your therapist. That person should not be your only point of socialization. You should spread that burden around. You should have a friend group where you can share with each other, and that way you're not burdening that other person. Otherwise, if you don't, if you're getting something's bringing you down, and you might find yourself in this loop where you see a trigger and it immediately triggers this impulse and it automatically gets you down every time, and then you get stuck in this thing. And so we need to reduce our exposure to the trigger and to stop that loop, because otherwise we can just end up in this loop and end up spending months being stressed out and depressed. 9, disconnect from social media. This one should be obvious. I often try to do that on the weekends, and I feel so much better after living in the real world, and I'm ready to have a productive Monday. Tell yourself that you love and accept yourself even as imperfect as you are, even with all of your other flaws. This is great whenever you feel like you're not up to something, or you feel like there's too much pressure and you can't take it, or you feel ashamed because you were rejected, or your website suddenly got hacked and your business got shut down overnight, or any kind of failure that you experienced. Rejection, failure, mistakes can knock us on our ass, but this can help us to get back on our feet. When I was a teenager, my father got me this job in a factory. He thought that I would learn from this guy, this business owner, and I made a mistake on the first day, and I messed up a batch of products, and the guy asked me to leave. He made me feel ashamed because I did something which I didn't even know, because he didn't communicate to me clearly. But if I didn't know any better, if I actually cared about that opportunity more, I might have felt really defeated and crushed by that experience. But thankfully I have enough self-love, and my father always accepted me. So even though this happened, he never made me feel ashamed for it. And so we also need to love and accept ourselves even when these big mistakes and errors and failures occur. 11, write down "I am enough" somewhere where you will see it, maybe on the mirror of your bathroom or in your notepad, and remind yourself often that I am enough, I've always been enough, and I always will be enough. This is like a panacea that makes everything in life better. And sometimes I like to write down other empowering statements like, if I have a lot of work to do, if I have a lot of difficult things I need to do, I might write down or say, "It is my privilege and my joy to serve others." It's a privilege and a joy to be of service to others. All work is noble. 12, loop your favorite songs to sing or to dance to. That's just a great way to interrupt the state that you might be in, lift up your spirits, pick yourself up again, and who knows, you might actually start laughing. 13, program yourself with the right thoughts. This is something that I find essential to do every day. For this, I highly recommend starting with some kind of guided meditations. It's not like the traditional meditation where you have to kind of force yourself to do it and you have to be quiet and still your mind. It's just something that you can do in the background, something you can listen to while you're going for a walk or while you're having your breakfast or drinking your coffee. I like to do it. One of the first things I would do when I wake up in the morning is to listen to a simple 20-minute audio that programs my mind to be successful, to have a great day. And there are so many free guided meditations that are excellent on YouTube. You can easily search for and find your favorites. And there are many dedicated to different topics like self-confidence, eliminating anxiety, programming you with an abundance mindset, and so on. The power of listening to these audios every day is that rather than leaving your mind to its own devices, you start it on the course that will give it the best results. You program it to reject the disempowering beliefs so that they never have a chance, and you replace them with the thoughts and beliefs that empower you. And this is always great in any circumstance. Whenever you have advice, accept the advice that makes you stronger. Don't accept the advice that disempowers you or makes you feel hopeless. Accept the advice that makes you a better person or the thoughts that empower you. 14, have a conversation with a good friend, an old friend, an acquaintance, or just a like-minded positive person. I notice that when I spend time around people I like, who like me, I am charged with this sense of energy, even if it's just like a Zoom call for an hour. And various studies, like I've seen in Psychology Today, tell us that low levels of social activity can be as harmful to us as smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. And so we are designed to be social. And sometimes having these regular conversations with people who we enjoy can fill us with so much positive energy. So there you have it. Those are the 14 ways to cope with high pressure situations. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a leader, entrepreneurial depression is a real thing. But these 14 strategies, these 14 coping mechanisms can help you to get back on track. They can help you to become a better person, to become an inspirational leader, the kind of person that persuades and influences and inspires other people. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next lesson.